Rules of the road.
Number 1, be nice.
Number
That's
2, bring snacks.
Delight in your nakedness.
Oh, God, you would ask me that.
I play this game so rarely.
Now, what's it about? Who cares? You know
sure.
what I
You
mean? And
finish
that's what's
each other's
important. Sandwiches,
directional
yeah.
dealings. I knew that's where this
Destroy
was
All
going.
Neighbors.
Yep.
This can be officially on the record. I want these two dead. Everybody really didn't like SLAPFACE. This and more on today's Stream It and Scream It.
No spoilers, but it's going to go deep.
Welcome to Streaming and Screaming. My name's Aaron Christensen. I'm running this Horror 101 with Dr. AC show here. And I have two awesome guests, the first of which being Chad the Bird of
What
Chad
up?
the Bird, and Lucy Ball of the last video store on Earth. How do you do?
Wait, you did it right this time. I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, I love seeing the kids grow up. It really does my heart a lot of good. Oh, mwah, mwah. That was fantastic.
And here on Streaming and Screaming, we're going to be talking about movies that are streaming right now. And again, we are triple decking Shudder with Destroy All Neighbors from 2024, SLAPFACE from 2021. Although really 2021 seems like an odd timestamp. I think that's like when it was hitting festivals. It didn't really get out into the world until like 2022, 2023, I'm thinking.
Isn't that so annoying when
And Glorious 2022.
I find for myself when I do research for my little TikTok
I know.
that like I'm trying to get the right year for a movie because I know movie people are gonna come in my comments and be like, it didn't actually come out this year, you idiot. It came out on this year. And then you get the festival release year and you're like, but this just became widely
nobody saw
You
it.
didn't go to South by Southwest. Stop
Right.
bragging.
Exactly.
And if you did, you went on a pay to play ticket. Don't play me.
No one's got Sundance money. Calm down, internet.
It's like when Evil Dead came out in 1981, or rather, like 83 is really when it came out. And 81 is the timestamp on it. I'm like, no, like that's when it came out, like in the little theater in Michigan. That's when
that's when Sam Raimi showed it to his family friends. Don't play around.
Exactly. But it's like
that's the timestamp on the VHS tape that he recorded it on.
But I'm not gonna say the person's name because I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus. I'm not that kind of guy. But it is funny, you talk about you didn't see it then. You weren't at the festival. They might have gone to some sketchy location. Because I did a friend of mine who's a filmmaker posted a tweet about these two indie movies that he was like, these are some of the coolest movies I've seen all year. Yep. So I reached out and I was like, okay, I seen this first one, but the second one sounds cool. Where'd you get that? And then he jumps into my DMs and it's like, I swear to God, I never do this, but it's on this sketchy streaming site. It's nowhere else.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, when I hit the festival circuit pretty hard back in like 2013, 2014, 2015. So I was seeing a ton of stuff that would just never show up. And I'd be like, oh, you got to see this movie, but you can't.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't come out yet. So it's like, 2 years later it would roll out and I'd be like, okay, that movie I was talking about 2 years ago, now you can actually see it.
It was like that with Skinamarink, I thought.
Yeah,
I couldn't see that movie at all, but everybody else seemed to be able to see it. Like I had to
because it got leaked to YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I had to beg a friend.
The screener got out. I did have somebody send me a not necessarily cleared for air screener before it hit Shudder.
Yeah, and by somebody I mean some fiend of mine. Sent me Skinamarink.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do everything by the letter of the law. Yeah. The letter of the law. But look, if you intentionally make your movie very impossible to find, people are going to find it somewhere. Yep. And this is how we seize the means of film production.
I still feel like, this is our communist manifesto of how we watch horror films. We take it back. It's for the people.
Now that said,
we're heroes, really.
Yeah. I'm not a pirate. I'm not a pirate.
No, we're rogues. We're rogues, man.
Yeah, I like to picture myself as like a Robin Hood, but like the sexy fox one from the Disney movie.
Mm-hmm, the only one.
That is
the other one's gonna be Kevin Costner, and he's like everybody's dad. like showing up and like when you're trying to do stuff, you're like, Dad, get out of the way. And he's like, no, I'm Robin Hood. You're like, no, you're not.
No, there's also Robin Hood Men in Tights. That one's acceptable.
Oh, that's true.
Well, how about Errol Flynn, like the original?
How about him?
Wow.
Yeah, what do you want to know? I got his number right here. If you want me to give a call.
Errol, they're talking about you, man.
Get in here.
He's very busy being a ghost.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all right. That's all right.
I didn't think that was going to be that loud. I'm sorry.
Let's dive in. Let's kick things off with Glorious from 2022, directed by Rebekah McKendry.
Scandalous.
And Lucy, this was your pick. Tell us a little bit about Glorious.
Oh, you don't say. This was Lucy's pick. Kel Surprise.
Yeah, Blake, look, you picked the cosmic horror film last time, Chad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so don't come talking to me just because I liked it more than you did.
Anyway,
we're not going to have another lover squabble on
here we go.
Yes, we are. We're going to record it and market it.
Yeah, that's
I like it. I like it. That's downright evil, Doc. Yep. I like that.
You're welcome.
But no, so Glorious. Glorious is it's a story about a man who's in the throes of some mental troubles, we'll say. And he's doing the cool breakup thing where he's totally processing it in a healthy way by burning everything of his ex and getting blackout shithouse drunk at a public park. And then, he sort of passes out for a little while. And when he comes to, he's got to run into the bathroom, as you do. I've heard anyway, you humans and your weird bodily functions.
And I feel like from my perch on many highway truck stop, sign. It's just like an in and out procedure. They just go in, they come out. It's a rotating door.
That's fascinating stuff. But
he goes. You asked.
I did bring that one myself. But he goes into the bathroom, and there's some guy with a magnanimous kind of voice in the stall. And it turns out it's not some guy. It's an eldritch god from another plane of dimensional existence or whatever. And he pretty much tells him, yo, you got to keep me going or else the whole universe is going to end.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the plot of the movie there.
That is a great and succinct summary of the plot of Glorious.
Wait, Lucy, why is it called Glorious?
Well, Chad, I'm so happy you asked.
Hey, we're going to be talking spoilers today, so if you haven't seen the movie, you can go check it out on Shudder right now. And if you have seen the movie, tune back in.
Yeah, because you already know. But I kind of want to see where this goes.
Now that he's got that pansy shit out of the way, what? I'm kidding.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
But basically, there's a giant glory hole in the middle of the stall, and it's got the visage of this eldritch god painted on it, which I don't know. I don't know how you humans totally operate with all that, but if I had one of those, I would not be sticking it through that hole. Like, I don't think that would happen. But he's talking to him through a glory hole, and he looks upon him and has to, bear that madness inside of his mind and stuff. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, inside his mind, if you know what I'm saying. What?
No, that's inside of his brain.
His brain, you know what I'm saying.
And this is Ryan how do you say his name? Quaten?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not.
But he had a long-running stint on True Blood.
Right.
And he's in the James Wan Dead Silence, the puppet.
Oh,
Hold on. Now I love me some Dead Silence, and I didn't recognize
the guy
for a friggin' second.
And he's also in Knights of Badassdom, which is directed by our friend Joe Lynch from Suitable Flesh.
Wow, bringing it all together.
So, yep. So anyway, but yes, he is and I gotta say, he pretty much he carries this film. Like, he's the main character. He has most of the screen time, and our disembodied voice coming from the other stall is none other than J.K. Simmons.
It's
okay.
So
I gotta raise my hand
J.K.
for a minute, because when this movie was this came out 2021,
2021.
right? Yeah. So when this movie was getting buzzed, like right before its big, what do you want to call widespread release or whatever, everybody was referencing that guy. It's like, oh, he's a luminary voice actor in this film. And I guess call me a bad film fan, but I didn't recognize his name right off top. So could you guys like elucidate and tell me some of the stuff he's done before?
The J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
Have at it, Chad.
Oh, well, first of all, you know him as J. Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man movies. You know him
Sam
as
Raimi ones? Sam
Raimi ones and the new ones because of the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
He's also the voice of him in several cartoons. He's also the voice of Omni-Man from Invincible. He's also the guy from Whiplash.
Yep.
He's the
band director guy. Yeah.
He's also is it Liberty? No, what is he? He's Farmers Insurance.
Yeah.
He's also the dad. He's also in Juno.
Yeah, he's the dad in Juno.
Oz.
Yeah,
that was BoJack Horseman.
But yeah, he's a luminary. And the fact that they got him for the gig, although when I saw his name in the credits, I was like, oh wow, J.K. Simmons, and then you never get to see J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
like,
that was a day.
He did a day. Bathroom, at home.
He's also in Jennifer's Body, which
That's
I just rewatched not too long ago. He's the professor.
That's an that's not what this episode is, but that's an overhated movie that actually rules.
It still rules.
I think it's experiencing a renaissance. I think people
it's because they got Lisa Frankenstein now, which is supposed to take place in the same universe. And because Diablo Cody wrote both.
Did you know that was Zelda Williams directing that?
No, I didn't know that. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's Robin Williams' friggin' daughter made that movie. That's awesome. Yeah.
I didn't
Chris
know that.
Pratt is in that movie. He just pops up. Amy Sedaris, too.
Well, and Chris Pratt just shows up in movies. I think if you leave like little crumbs of crackers and cheese around, he'll just show up on set and then you got to cast him. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, do you guys need somebody to voice the new Marmaduke? Chris Pratt, get back in your hole.
Well, no, look, I'm not going to do a voice or like act
garage.
or anything. I'm just going to sort of talk and like people will do it on the name recognition. I'm Star-Lord.
Yeah. Chad, what was your feelings?
I don't have any animosity at all.
I'm glad to hear it because,
we all lived through the Mario movie.
He's a nice guy. Chad, what was your thoughts about Glorious?
I thought it started strong. I love the concept. And then I thought it kind of like petered out towards the end. And just kind of like it left me with like a kind of vibe. Like I think you got to stick the landing. It was like a really good gymnastics routine. And you're like, build up, and then just kind of like, and we're done. And I was like, oh, that was fun.
In
Thanks
case
for
you
coming.
missed it, that was a dick joke, everybody.
Yeah, it was about a dick.
I thought you were talking about Peter Quint because that's his name in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's because you have a young, innocent mind.
That's right. I would like to second that because I felt like this was a great concept and I loved like watching them make the most of this indie budget that I'm sure they were working with. Like, okay, we can get J.K. Simmons, but he'll record it from home. And well, one guy
did that in his office.
Well, totally. I did start drifting and I started like, looking up. That's how I know that Ryan Quatten had been in True Blood, stuff like that. Cause I wasn't watching the movie as closely because it was kind of losing me. However, I then realized, hey, wait, I missed something. About 10 minutes before the end of the movie, there's some really valuable information.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big reveal.
Doesn't call attention to itself. Like if you are not looking down, it's 30 seconds. And I think I was looking down at my phone and I looked back up and I missed it completely. Yeah. And then I went, wait. And I backed up and
that one's a head scratch.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. The story's cool. I just think the execution was kind of meh towards the end.
And, as much as I did love this movie, and don't get me wrong, I did like really love watching this movie. Yeah. I can see where you guys are coming from. It does sort of like, it promises like a really cool idea and it gives you a really cool idea for about 45 minutes or so. And it does sort of start to drag on a little bit. But to your point earlier, that I already forgot his name, Qui-Gon Rondon. So Qui-Gon Rondon, like it does say something when there can be one character in a movie, basically. Of all the things that I think are valid points you could make about how the story meanders, and it doesn't really go much of anywhere until that weird part that you were looking at your phone for. I do got to give the guy credit because he stays pretty well engaging through the whole thing, I gotta say.
Yeah. My point regarding it is because this is based on an H.P. Lovecraft story. As I was hearing the words spoken, I was imagining how funny it would have been on the page. Like this feels like a really clever and dry, and I'm not sure if it was a tonal thing. I wasn't sure why it wasn't clicking for me, because this really, like you said, the concept is solid and the lines are great. It's just, there's something that wasn't quite clicking for me, but I really enjoyed it. Like if I were to give a star rating, I'd probably say like a solid 3 out of 5, so
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It's a worthwhile viewing experience, but I was wanting it to go just a little bit further.
It's like a good burger. It's still a burger. If it's like, unless it's like it's great, then you want to tell everybody about it. But if you have it, it's just like mediocre. You're like, well, it's like pizza, right? Even bad pizza is good pizza. It's just pizza.
You're not going to kick it out of bed or whatever.
Right.
I think where you said something about it wasn't just clicking. I think I have an idea because I wanted to like, and like I said, don't get me wrong, love this film.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like it more than I actually did.
Yeah.
And I think a part of that for me is there through the middle, it doesn't really develop or go anyway. It feels like this would have been an awesome half an hour short.
Yep. Piece of an anthology.
Yeah, this was like a Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt episode that they decided to make a motion picture out of. And it was like, there's not a lot. It's just stretched out too much, right?
Yeah,
because
most
of heavy enough for me, right? I felt like they could have gone harder.
Well,
yeah, and I think a lot of that is going to be, a money problem for these folks at the end of the day, especially with the things they do in the film. I think they probably wanted to go a little further and couldn't. But I do think, like, because through the whole middle, the guy like back and forths on.
Yes.
Can we throw the spoiler up? Can we throw the spoiler
you bet,
up
you bet. The spoiler just is intact.
Okay, so the whole idea is this eldritch god is hanging out in the national park's bathroom at like a rest stop or whatever, because a whole squadron of other eldritch gods are trying to come and wipe him out. Because if they don't wipe him out, he's going to eat the entirety of the universe. That's just his destiny. It doesn't even really seem like he wants to eat the whole universe.
Right.
He just has gotta, because some racist dude in 1890 said he was gonna. So he's bound by this fate, and he's effectively asking the our main character guy from True Blood or whatever.
Wes. Wes is his character's name.
Yeah, Wes. Yeah, they're asking Wes Trueblood if he's gonna if he'll give himself up and sacrifice his life in order to save the rest of the universe
through his penis.
Well, no, wasn't the joke that it wasn't through his
liver? It's through his liver.
Yeah, it's his
liver. But it starts
he,
with his penis.
Well, no, he tries to put his penis through the hole, and then
we can't not talk about this, Doc. Don't get red face. It's on now.
That was my favorite joke in the movie, where he's like, "You must feed me your organ," and he goes to put his dick through the hole, and the god's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's so good.
That was a great joke.
Yes.
Well delivered, because they totally set you up to expect that through the whole thing. And when they pay that off, it's awesome.
I was just going to say, Rebekah McKendry, she did that anthology, All the Creatures Were Stirring, that holiday. And I think that might be her sweet spot right now, is that kind of short subject. Because again, this one feels a little stretched out. And I think if it had gone a little leaner and meaner, it could have been really terrific. It would have been kind of a short that people would have been talking about.
Totally. You could have put this in scare package and it would have been awesome.
Yep.
But because that's the whole middle, I did that gigantic whole plot spoiler. So I could say the whole middle chunk of this film, and I'm talking a good solid half an hour, I think. Is him going back and forth on I'm so ready to sacrifice myself for the good of the universe because I'm such a nice guy. And No, hell no. I want
Yeah.
to keep on living, baby. He goes back and forth between that at least like 3 times before you get to the end of the movie. And that was a little tiring and kind of took me out of it because, yeah, people are that way, but like you don't watch movies for that kind of verite, especially not about a friggin' eldritch god in a shitter.
Well,
With
and
a glory hole for your penis.
And they brought in, a random character basically just to get splattered all over the inside of the bathroom.
Yeah, as soon as he walked in, I was like, this is either going to go one of 2 ways. He's going to be the guy, or he's going to be like the god, and his god's playing a trick on him, or this guy is just meat for the beast.
Yep.
Yeah, I was told, like, the dude walks in, and I'm like, well, he's fucked.
Yep. Sorry.
And we should talk about the fact, I mean, again, another funny joke is that the only way you can pronounce this god's name is by holding your tongue between your fingers and saying God Watanabe or something like that. And I like the fact that when you shorten God Watanabe, it becomes Got. You're like, oh, it's God. Okay, I get it. Nice job.
I love that Duga used a severed leg to try to break out of the
that was very fun. So I've got like a really weird soft spot in my heart for it's a thing that proliferated horror after the Silent Hill PT thing, but like a looping room, like when he crawls into the vent and he's like, oh hell yeah, I'm out of here, baby, and then he winds up right back where he started. That tickles a very certain part of my brain that I just love to pieces.
See, now I'm liking this movie even more now that we're talking about
it. Because it's fun to talk about. It's not as much fun to watch though. That's my warning. It's got some good start. It doesn't land the plane.
Land the plane,
man.
Stick the landing.
Dude, Buddy Holly is rolling in his grave right now.
Is he here too, hanging out with Errol Flynn? Goddamn ghost.
No, but the crickets are.
Hey. These are the jokes, people.
Well,
tip your waiter.
Speaking of jokes, let's jump into Destroy All Neighbors 2024 because this is a funny movie.
Gross. This movie's so gross. Okay, it's back in the day, there was a movie, because this was my pick. Back in the day, there was a movie called Freaked that Alex Winter directed.
Classic. Yeah.
It's a classic. It's stoner goodness. It's gooey. It's fun. It's splatty. It's stupid. That is a better version of this movie. Like, I had a good time with Destroy All Neighbors, but Freaked is if you want what Destroy All Neighbors is trying to do, watch Freaked. If you don't care and you just want to munch on some gross chips, check out Destroy All Neighbors because it is all flash. I will give it that. But it is some good flash. There's some decadent gross in this one.
You may be the first avian, I guess, in the history of the internet to call Freaked a better movie than some other movie.
Though. It's a perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's like a Mad Balls. Garbage Pail Kids, disgusting, gummy, gross, funny movie that you just want to like. If you're like a 13-year-old human, you're gonna love it.
I think that's actually the front page of the pitch Bible for that movie.
Yeah, 100%. They just walked in with a bunch of like classic, like melted action figures. They're like this, and you're
like this is what we're doing. We're making a movie out of this.
I thought, okay, so the movies. Am I supposed to do with?
Well, no, I was just going to say this one is not directed by Alex Winter, although he is a producer on it. It's directed by Josh Forbes.
Yeah,
and take it away.
The guy from the new MST3K, The Gauntlet, is having a rough time because he wants his prog rock band to kick off. Like you do. His next door neighbor is being a doink, played by Alex Winter, Bill S. Preston, and he
of the Wild Stallions,
the two great ones, be excellent to each other and party on dudes. And his next door neighbor, who's played by Alex Winter, is this like weird foreign guy, accented, like sweaty mess.
His name's Vlad.
Nightmare. He's like all prosthetics and like goo face. And they get into it one night, and Jonah, what's his last name from
Jonah Ray.
Murders
Jonah Ray Rodriguez. Know.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's true.
I didn't know that until Satanic Hispanics came out. But anyway,
right? Well, anyway, we'll talk more about that in a second.
He accidentally murders him, and then it becomes like a gross Telltale Heart kind of rip where he keeps accidentally murdering people, and they keep talking to him in his brain, and ultimately ends up working on his album, and then kind of like movie over, and that's sort of it. But like, it doesn't really go very far, but which I kind of appreciated, because then it was like, yeah, that's the logical ending to whatever's going on here. So it's about monsters, ghosts, demons, and prog rock.
And late 80s bass guitar instructional videos
on YouTube on your phone, which I thought was classy.
Well,
that was a nice touch.
Our 3 screenwriters, I mean, like one of them wrote for Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
One of them wrote for James Corden's show. I mean, like clearly they know their comedy, and this is absolutely a comedy first and a horror film second, but it definitely brings the horror. Like there's enough decapitations and gore and slime and
so
dead bodies
gross.
come back to life.
95% of the gross is just Alex Winter spitting through his mask. Like
you can fuck all night to this music.
It's so intense. He's like this coked out EDM Muppet, just covered in goo and sideburns and the grossest swollen hands with knuckle hair. It's just, it's so intense.
Total sausage fingers on that.
Yeah.
Guy. Yeah.
But I did enjoy, spoilers, I guess.
Oh, sure.
I guess.
Really,
honestly, the first 10 minutes
now
of this movie, you know exactly what you're going to get, and it delivers. There's really no surprises in this one. But I did enjoy when the throwing when Jonah threw the severed head at what's his name from Reno 911.
Lieutenant Dangle.
Yeah, that's right. There's also a lot of celebs like Kumail Nanjiani's in this movie, and
Thomas Lennon.
That's the guy's name. But like throws the severed head, and it's just the best looking like frozen grimace, and like you can tell it's on a wire, and it just kind of goes like, and I was so happy with it.
Well, lots of cocaine use in this.
So much cocaine.
Josh Forbes, this is his second feature. His first feature was Contracted Phase 2, the sequel to Contracted.
Oh, interesting.
But I think this is a much better film by far.
It's definitely more realized.
And Jonah Ray, like looking back, like he's on the new MST3K. Yep. He's in Satanic Hispanics. He has a bit in Suitable Flesh that we talked about last time. Right. He plays one of the orderlies. And Christmas, Bloody Christmas. You know, I was like, this guy's awesome.
I love that dude. He puts me in stitches. I think he's very
funny. He's really funny here, and I'm glad because he gets to carry this movie, and it is a crazy flick. This one has energy to burn and just carries it all the way through. I don't know how other people were feeling, but I mean, like I feel like this one really takes the ball, runs with it all the way to the end, and I was never bored.
No, that's true. I was never bored. That's for real. I just felt like there was a lot of choices. This kind of reminded me of that Foo Fighters horror movie that they made.
Where Studio it's like
666, where it's like we're just being stoned and we just got access to a really kick-ass like effects shop, and screw you, this is our dream and we're just gonna do this. And they don't like miss. They don't skimp on the gross. This is also a great one. Just have on like during a Halloween party or something, just like on your TV. Like it's visually beautiful. And I could swim in that one all day. It definitely made me want it smells like a Halloween mask, like the whole movie.
I watched this one in a living room full of hungover homosexuals, and it was a great time.
Gabe Bartolos.
Ask him how.
Exclusively gay men hang out at my house. I don't know what you want me to say.
Gabe Bartolos does the makeup effects, and he is known for the Basket Case sequels.
Oh, that's dope.
And he also did all Leprechaun movies. Like
what?
I totally thought that Vlad guy had a sort of leprechaun. Yep. Man, the leprechaun is really poisoning your brain here, huh?
Yeah, are you okay? You had to go through it, man.
It was a long ride, but and I mean, I like Gabe Bartolos a lot. I think he does some really fun. It's never like realistic, but I think that's the fun of it. Is just like watching. You know that's a guy in a mask, and it's even more fun to know that it's Alex Winter.
I think you say it's very unrealistic, and it is. If they had tried to make it look realistic, it wouldn't match the film. Like it's stylistic.
It's meant to be cartoony.
It meshes with like the vibe they're going for. And I think if it looked any different, it would like stick out in a bad way.
Yeah, it can't look too good. It has to be.
Yeah.
He has to look kind of like a puppet and a Muppet
Yeah.
altogether.
And
'Cause,
my
like,
God, how many friggin' puppets were in this movie?
I was so
Man.
happy with the landlady who was
Yeah, the
electrocuted to death, and
Yeah,
her
that
mouth was
was
just like
awesome.
hanging
All right,
open.
all right. So just so you know, like the landlady is played by none other than she's the mom of Daniel LaRusso and the Karate Kid.
What?
Like,
Whoa.
that's Ralph Macchio's mom in the Karate Kid.
Whoa, that's
Man,
And
this thing is
crazy.
just dripping 80s all
Yep.
over it. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So great. And she's
know-
hilarious. She's hilarious in her human form and in her puppet form.
So it's also worth noting, speaking from Chicago folk, that this movie is co-written by Jared Logan, who's a Chicago stand-up comedian who I've gotten to work with on several things. And so that was just awesome to see his name in the credits. I didn't know he worked on it. I sent him a thing. It has his style of comedy where there's like, just like we're hammering the joke home until you laugh. You don't have a choice. Yeah. What is her name? From the Karate Kid. Randy Heller.
Right.
She plays this landlady. Spoilers again. And she electrocutes herself. And she sets herself on, and she explodes. That was my favorite reveal. There's a lot of amazing quick edits where he's like goes to go find this landlady that he left in the basement because she wanted his help, and he said no. And then he comes back, and it's just like quick edit, and she's dead. And there's just like this awkward cringe moment where the like the paramedics are there, and they're just like, well, I mean, she electrocuted to death, and he's like, oh, and it's just like a great like sigh moment. But that puppet that they used for her like general being is it's iconic. Like no eyeball, like no eyelids, just crispy face, just like lower jaw bobbing around out of nowhere, completely out of sync. I'm super into it.
Yeah, it's like they heard the phrase, oh, here we go, puppet shop. They heard the phrase Henson punch and were like, yeah, who cares?
It's got the dopiness. It's like Pick of Destiny. But without the like hard rock, because it's prog rock, which I guess is interesting. The ending is its own beast. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. There's really no point in diving into the plot, really.
I don't know. I thought the girlfriend's delaying tactic was pretty,
I enjoyed that.
That was very good.
I enjoyed
and that's how every story about Big Bear goes.
The guy who plays the old man, his name is Christian Calloway, and I'm trying to find out where I've seen him.
You mean the old man, like the guy who wants the croissant?
Yeah, the bass guy. Yeah,
the bass guy.
when he gets run over and he just has the tire tread on his face.
I really liked when Jonah Ray has him all wrapped up in the sheet, and he's like, "If it makes it any better, you're my hero." It really doesn't. I guffawed.
I thought I would never in my life see a sentient intestine play the drums, and I did.
That's solid.
All the reasons.
Neil Peart, who?
And that is so Gay Bartalos, is to have like just weird shit happening.
It is
as
a
Mobius Megatar.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say Mobius Megatar, and that song was pretty good. You know, like for a goofy, jokey movie song, that was a kind of a jam.
Yeah, they really landed the prog rock experience.
Which,
so if you love that,
I've come to notice that's sort of a Jonah Ray thing. I think it's that whole like every comedian wants to be a musician, every musician wants to be a comedian thing. But in his segment in Satanic Hispanics, there's like honestly a little long-winded song about the kicking ass and killing people and stuff.
Did you notice Alex Winter played two characters? Because you can never get enough Alex Winter.
I did notice that. You didn't notice that? He's the lawyer, the one that tells him that he can, they can't find any evidence that he actually committed any of these murders.
Technically, it's manslaughter.
So he was that guy and the dude in 8 pounds of makeup, man.
Correct.
Yeah. That's
the
just like
you
Alex
do to not have
thing,
to pay an actor. That's crazy.
That's true. Right? Yeah, but he does that though. Like in Bill and Ted Face the Music, it's just like 6 different characters. Freaked is another example.
Yep.
Is Bill and Ted Face the Music the one with the Grim Reaper?
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
Oh,
but also
totally bogus adventure.
Yeah, bogus journey, and then Face the Music is the third one, which may or may not feature Willie Sadler's return is, but I won't tell you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
I mean, his name is on the IMDb credits, so it's really not hard to find.
I didn't seek it out because I wasn't.
It is an excellent final story.
Nah, it's excellent. It's excellent.
Any final thoughts on Destroy All Neighbors?
I don't think I would sit down and watch it by myself again anytime soon or whatever. But it's a great party movie, lots of fun. And it's this thing. I'm going to get on my little soapbox.
Do it.
But everybody always talks about like, oh, horror movies are getting too brainy. Everybody wants to be Ari Aster. Everybody wants to do Midsummer, A24, blah, 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 blah. Everybody loves to complain about stuff like that. And then when like a goofy, sloppy, crazy movie comes out, they shit on that too because it's not the right kind of goofy, sloppy, stupid.
Sure.
So you can't have it both ways. I mean, I guess you can because I both like artsy, fartsy, stupid horror and crazy, bloody, gory, over the top stuff. But yeah, people just don't like to take things that are fun when they're fun.
If you want to see a giant rubber spaghetti splat of a movie mixed with prog rock jokes, this is the movie for you. There are better versions of this kind of film, but, not going to kick it out of bed.
Cool.
Chad, Freaked is not a better version of this kind of
I was going to say, first of all, yes, it is. And we will go toe-to-toe on that one. That movie is endlessly quotable. You have Bobcat Goldthwait as a sock puppet head. Come on. Oh, my God. You are incorrect. It is a big old gooey late night delivered pizza. It's not DiGiorno.
And here's the exact opposite.
Must we? Must we?
Here we go.
SLAPFACE. This was my movie. Sorry, everyone. SLAPFACE from 2021. It's written and directed by Jeremiah Kipp, who's been done a ton of short films for a long time. And this is one of, he's done a few features, but this one definitely is
not short.
Positively received and played the festival circuit pretty strong. It's now available on Shudder. And the basic story is that we have two brothers whose parents have died and they are living alone in the boonies in a little shack. And it seems like our younger brother, who is named Lucas, he's conjured himself an imaginary friend out in the woods in the old deserted insane asylum, perhaps. I'm not sure what that building was, but it felt very much like an insane asylum.
I think you nailed it. I'm pretty sure it was the one from Session 9.
I know, right. Or Dead Girl, or
you name it, yeah.
But anyway, so he's conjured himself an invisible friend because he doesn't have any friends. He's a bit of an outcast. He's bullied. He
smokes, which makes him cool.
Well, he doesn't smoke, does he? Oh, he tries to smoke. That's true.
He keeps cigarettes all the time.
Right. And then his older brother, Tom, is definitely deep in the bottle. That is his coping device, is alcohol. And
by bottle, you mean tall boys. Like when you see him crack a tall boy, you're like, say no more.
And you know what? They don't even sell those in like cases. So he's going to the gas station and buying like 10 tall boys of Kurs at the same time.
Really? You don't get those where you are? I can get a 10-pack of tall boys.
I mean, I'm sure I could, but why am I going to get a 10-pack of tall boys?
Yeah, you figure words enough. Spend the extra $5.
I do not need the Colorado Kool-Aid, buddy.
And I definitely was a fan of this film. It hit me in all the right ways. I thought that...
Because it slapped you.
Well, it did slap me.
Right across the face, you might even say.
Opens with that ritual where the two brothers are slapping each other back and forth, and you're kind of like, what is going on here? But they say, we have to do this. And I'm like, okay, like I love that kind of like world building where it's like, this is a thing that we do. It's our thing. And then we go into the intro with the credits and we have woodcuts and we get some satanic panic. And I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued to see where this goes. And it didn't go where I thought it was going to go at all. I thought there was a lot of fun surprises to be had. Fun if you are, if by
fun might not be the word I would choose.
If you're watching this stream, you know what we mean by fun.
Yeah, fun in that it hit me in the feels.
Right.
But I know that not everyone on the panel feels the same way about SLAPFACE. So I'll be curious to hear other people's thoughts.
Well, I got to get this out because I don't think I told you this, Doc, but I texted it to Chad.
Yeah, we texted back and forth when we were watching.
Yeah, we do this kind of thing. And I was like, wow, I can't believe they made Lilo and Stitch a downer. But that's all I kept thinking of through the whole movie. It's like, okay, they made white trash Lilo and Stitch, but it's like really sad.
But it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Like real sad.
I thought the music was dope. If I'm going to say something positive about that
Except for that
experience.
song
Except
in
for the
end
final
credits.
song.
What
The
the
final
hell
song.
is that?
That was so weird.
Voices.
What happened there?
Yeah, the final song, and also I think the kind of block text telling us that bullying is,
Yeah,
you know,
that was
not,
a little
not-
In
intense.
case you didn't know,
In case it wasn't
child
slapping
abuse
you
is
across the
bad,
face with the message.
and that's that. Okay, that slapping you across the face with the message. It's something I did like about the movie, and I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. Is on no fewer than 3 occasions,
Yep.
Lucas runs around literally screaming the word help.
Yeah,
He's screaming for help and no one is there to hear him. And that's what puts him in the situation he gets into at the end of the movie. And I thought that was like a prescient point. I like how they did that. But I felt kind of like they unfairly, oh boy, and I don't like to come out in defense of the man, but I felt like they sort of treated the older brother unfairly. Because at the end of the, like, sure, you know, you got to step up in that kind of situation or whatever, but he's a victim here too.
Right.
Like, Lucas isn't the only one who lost a parent. And yeah, I just feel like the movie could have been more friendly to the older brother. And instead of displaying him as like, they did give him one good emotional moment, but I felt like they portrayed him as like just like a drunken loser more than like a hurt soul, until you get to that scene in the bathtub where he tries to open up to Lucas, and then Lucas is like, we ain't talking about that.
Yeah, Dark. This movie had the audacity to have the following 2 lines actually said in all sincerity. 1, what are you going to do? Hit me too? And number 2, sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare. I applauded. I was like, wow, ballsy. Ballsy move, movie.
Talking like humans.
I like the multicultural cast. I like the fact, I mean, even though
they also liked you.
Our 2 main characters are white. And I also liked seeing Dan Hadia, character actor, non-compare, showing up as the sheriff.
Fun story, a little bit of trivia for you, Doctor.
Yeah, hit me.
Since we were just talking across the face, since we were just talking earlier about Bill and Ted Face the Music, do you know who was originally supposed to play Dan Hidea's part?
No.
Willie Sadler. You know why Willie Sadler couldn't do it?
No.
Because he was making Bill and Ted Face the Music. Boom!
Wait, Bill Sadler was going to be in this?
Yeah, he was originally supposed to play the part of the cop, the sheriff.
Man.
But he couldn't do it because he was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. So now you know he's in that movie.
I'm glad.
Sheriff guy. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Talk about the sheriff guy.
Oh, he was like a perfect, rural, middle of nowhere sheriff guy. He played that part with such like,
I don't want to call it. He was just
I don't want to call it panache because it's the opposite of panache, but he sold it.
He definitely looked like he saw some shit. Man's face was like a fucking like a baseball glove. And I was
like a Michael Kors bag. Yeah.
And he like just very subtly like brings in the information that like he maybe had a relationship or he was aware of things that were going on in the family. I just love like he's such a great actor, and watching him just kind of lay that in there very low key and saying, you know, your brother's getting into trouble. You're going to have to do something. And if you don't, I'm going to do something.
Well, you say he subtly laid it on until the end of the movie when he was like, you remember when your dad told me to quit coming around the house? Well, I thought that was a little bit blatant.
This movie, there's nothing subtle about Slapface. The movie starts like becoming Harold and Maude for a little bit, which is a little messed up.
Ooh, yes, nice comparison.
Yeah, then it becomes like My Girl at the end, and I was like, man, you're just hitting all the holiday movies right here.
And I like the fact that we have a witch in this movie.
Like a solid witch.
And that witch is not afraid to be on camera. Like
No,
they
not
don't
at all.
hide it. It's not CGI. It's clearly a guy in a suit. And that guy is Lucas Hassel, who does a really terrific physical performance.
Yeah, it really does.
But
I did note that earlier when he showed up in my notes, I have humped by blanket man? Question mark. Because like when you first meet the witch, she just like attacks him and like hugs him.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know. Where is this going? Why are we doing this?
I know that she's like a stand-in mother figure. I get that. But like why do you attack the child and then run up after the child and then squeeze the child up? Maybe it's something about the nature of abuse. I don't know. I wasn't
not a subtle movie.
No, it's not. And you say that the witch was not afraid to be on camera, which is really brave considering it was like, no shade. It was basically like a Spirit Halloween costume.
That's right. That's right. I mean, like it's
just a straight up rubber mask. It does
like anytime how they kept her in like very low light, I was like, this is an interesting stylistic choice and does look very cool on the frame, but I know why you're doing it.
Yeah, we got it.
Pull one over on me.
No, don't try it. We know what you're doing.
I don't know. I was okay with that. I was pleased with that choice. There are some, very strong bullying messages going on here. We have two twins who are friends with Lucas's girlfriend, his secret girlfriend.
Absolute worst human being.
Yeah, they are terrible. And I love the fact that, hey, spoilers, they are the ones who escape justice.
Yeah.
Like everybody else,
they are.
all the people who love Lucas suffer the witch's wrath. And I don't think I think it's just because of mistakes. Like the witch mistakes but it's also that idea of like the ones closest to us are the ones that can hurt us. And so they get hurt.
There was no question that there was a physical witch.
Yeah, like, it wasn't metaphorical.
Like they don't do a thing where it's like, ooh, was it all in his mind?
Yeah,
was it him the whole time? They don't do that, which I did appreciate that there was a monster that other people saw. So I thought that was nice. But that whole thing about the people who were close to him were the ones who, ultimately met their demise. I thought that was a good piece about like the nature of a traumatized person. How when people try to get close to you and, the vulnerability gets scary and people can lash out and hurt people who only mean the best. Meanwhile, the real bastards can sort of scoot away because you don't give a shit about them anyway.
Right. I see that. I did enjoy how it was like, okay, so there was a moment there where I thought the witch was going to be the most abusive one. And then it kind of becomes that towards the end, which I kind of enjoyed the twist. But like, there was so many moments where I was like, this is a little E.T. right now, where it's like, if this abused child is finding solace in this evil being, I'm like, that's a good metaphor for people dealing with abuse. I see that happening. Also, big ups to the witch attack moment. Yeah. Where you finally see her do her thing, because I thought that was legitimately frightening.
And the like sticks that came out
of her head
went up on the girlfriend. That was intense.
Yeah,
that was very cool. I'll give it points for that. I didn't like that every woman in the movie was a bad guy at some point.
At some point,
really,
it was maybe not
maybe not the girlfriend so much. The witch lady the Wiccan lady. Excuse me.
Wiccan.
Yeah. Don't want to get in the comments.
That's already happening.
Anna is the one who becomes Tom's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah, and while
Mariah is Lucas's girlfriend.
Right, and while she wasn't like, because as the movie started, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a woman bad movie. I had that feeling when he's being chased through the woods by those goyles.
Yeah.
And then they introduced, the Wiccan lady. I've already forgotten the name. It's pointless to tell me. It's pointless.
Anna.
Anna. Yeah. When we meet her, I was like, oh no, here we go, another one. And while she didn't turn out to be an evil woman per se, she was still like a cardboard cutout of a. She was like a manic pixie dream girl. and less like a character, which I guess serves the purpose since she gets poofed
Yeah.
pretty quick.
She also is the best manic pixie dream girl because she's like, look, I believe you. Witches are real. Let's talk about this. And
let's jam about witches for a little bit.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed that she got offed, though. That made me sad. I was like, that was the other thing about this movie. There wasn't any humor in it. And I really think like you need a little bit of that for a movie.
Agreed.
If you're going to do something that dark and messed up, you got to make me giggle just a little bit. Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, why am I here? I was having a good day.
Remember when we watched Speak No Evil?
I was just gonna say that. Oh my god! And I had to. I called you on the phone and I was like, you know what? I've never wanted to go to a Christmas village so badly in my life.
He said those exact words.
Oh my god! Hey, it wasn't as humorless as Speak No Evil. I'll give you that. But what is?
Right.
In fact, that movie's so mean and dark, it becomes funny because you're just laughing at how horrible this could get. Yep. Meanwhile, with SLAPFACE, they don't give you that moment. It never goes so bad that it's fun. It's just like, no, everything's sad. These kids are sad. Yep. Bullying is sad. Life is sad. And then credits. And then they give you the ultimate like after school special scroll at the end where it's like at 1 in 20 experience. But I'm like, oh my God.
See, that's
throw a pie. Come on.
Doc and I were talking about that after I finished the movie and how like I was like, well, I'm not sure that I liked it, but I don't hate that I watched it.
Right.
And he tells me, listen to this. Humans. He tells me, yeah, I really appreciate that the director trusted his audience the way he did. Well, until that part at the end there, I guess.
I wrote that all of my notes are pretentious. Every note that I wrote was just like, oh, the sing-song fake kids poem went a little hard. Oh, love is weird. Oh, the music is nice. It's complicated and interesting. Yeah, that's what this movie made me feel like.
See, I thought that nursery rhyme sucked.
Yeah, big time. Not a fan.
First it was a tree, then it was a breeze.
Yeah, it's like that's
First
not
it was
a thing.
A tree, then she was a breeze.
No, there's no way that's like a thing that would catch on. Yeah, because some kid would have gone.
Where's the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you?
Yeah, seriously, we've come a long way from that.
Rhyme?
It doesn't rhyme.
Oh my God!
Boo!
Get better poets.
Do better poems.
Sorry, Jeremiah Kipp.
No, look, I'm not actually right about a nursery rhyme. Yeah, I did. I didn't actively hate it.
No,
and I really don't like to talk bad about movies.
No.
But this one,
you've had some good things to say about it for sure.
I did. I thought a lot of. This is another thing that I'm just always kind of a sucker for. But I really love the shots of the forest. Those were beautiful, and I thought they also like really well conveyed that like I don't know, you guys are city slickers, but if
I've been to the woods,
that feeling when you just get all the way out in the woods and you're like no one is around.
There's nothing around here.
Yeah, I felt like they conveyed that really well. I did like that, had things gone different for that little boy, he might have grown up to be an urbex YouTuber and explored all kinds of abandoned buildings. It would have been great for him, I think.
Well, see, I want to watch that movie.
When you say that, you talked about earlier how it's revealed that the witch is a real thing. Because I thought we were tracking in that direction that it might have been all him doing it, and I went, well, so like the unreliable narrator thing.
Yeah.
And I really liked that it didn't go that way.
Yeah, same.
And
I wrote that down.
And yet everybody else still thinks that he did it.
Right.
Yeah, I do think I would have actively disliked the movie if it did the and it's weird to say this because I like this movie a lot, but if it was like Martin and it wasn't clear whether or not something weirdo was going on. Yeah. So as soon as Anna like lays eyes on the witch and it's it's like cemented as film knowledge that it's a physical thing.
Yep.
It got points with me for sure because I thought that was a very good choice.
Yeah, when it went all the way to the end, and like again, spoilers. When the cops are all surrounding Tom's broken body and Lucas is there crying. You're like, Lucas is going to spend the rest of his life in jail.
Yep.
And sorry.
Boop. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I did enjoy
That's life, so they say.
just him in the set with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing over it. I just him just being like, bop, 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 like, that would have been a better end credits.
Look, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes I just freak out and I beat my brother to death. I don't know.
I did write down in all caps, rock to the face. I just thought I yelled when that happened. There is a lot to like about it. There are some things stylistically. I thought it was very cool looking. Yeah, and I thought that it was a cool idea. I just I needed a joy buzzer in there or a whoopee cushion or something to make me enjoy myself, because I'm not going to want to watch it again.
Glorious and this one, they both clearly are coming from pretty meager budgets or limited budgets, and they're making the best of it with what they've got. And Glorious goes the route of a really small, contained, but with some flashy effects.
Yeah.
And then this one just goes the other route where it's it's a really small, quiet, intimate, practical effects.
And legit spooky. I thought that some of that was legitimately good atmosphere.
I think you're so right. And there was a whole lot to enjoy about it there. The idea behind it was good. I thought the witch was cool, and the way they sort of framed her to look bigger than everybody. They did lots of cool perspective to make her look like what she's supposed to be 10 feet tall, according to the papers. And
nice.
What are you laughing at?
You, baby.
I do think there was a lot to like, and I even really like a downer movie. I especially I love when a horror movie's not afraid to just bum you out for a couple hours.
Yep.
I do like that. But I don't know.
If it had not had that block of text at the end, do you think you would have liked it more?
I would have made fun of it less.
Fair enough.
It's I've said this on your show before. It's the same thing with Hereditary, right? I love that movie, but I hate that it treats me like a toddler and explains everything that's going on at the end as if it wasn't friggin' obvious what's going on at the end. I think by the time before the credits roll and the brothers are slapping each other in the face, you're it's about domestic abuse. I get it.
We get it.
Yep.
You're saying that movie's as subtle as a slap to the face?
What's the brand new song? It's as subtle as a brick in the small of your back.
Nice.
Nice. Did you guys see Witch in the Window, by the way?
No, I haven't seen that one.
The Witch in the Window, I saw it last October. That was part of the Scarathon, and I was like, oh man, we're having a witch renaissance.
Yeah, there's been a bit of them, huh?
Hagazusa.
Oh my gosh, I love Hagazusa.
I haven't seen it.
I knew you would.
Oh man. In fact, I wrote down this was giving me some Hagazusa vibes, the stuff out in the woods.
Yeah, it's Appalachian Hagazusa that's not 3 hours long.
There you go.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's worth seeing. Maybe we'll talk about it sometime.
It's cool.
soon.
It's a trip. Visually stunning.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's German. I'm Googling it.
And
right
foreign. Yes, exactly.
You know, it's interesting that all three of these movies were about people with magical friends. So that's just
Whoa, we had a
to think
theme
about.
and we didn't even
We
notice
didn't even know it.
All right. Well, that is our show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Please check out Lucy and Chad on their respective, I don't know, platforms. Can we call it
We're
a
on
platform?
the socials, yeah.
Until next time, keep searching.
Do we have a line?
I was hoping somebody would pick up the ball, but
and keep sharing the scare. That one.
Do it again. Do it again. You can edit it.
Oh man.
I thought you were gonna do it. I was freezing. All right, everybody on three. 1, 2, 3.
No.
Keep searching.
No, he's doing it too early. Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right, you go. Okay, we'll wait.